so that we could perform, make records. They said because if they didn't, we would never know.
Yeah.
And we would blame them
Supported.
for not allowing us. At 17, keep in mind, we were living in Germany and we flew back to the States. And when my parents dropped us off at the airport, my mother ended up in the emergency room. She thought she was going to have a heart attack because her children were leaving. But if you
So, can you tell us more about the lip singing scandal and
well, what
did
happened?
they really sing? In your opinion?
In my opinion,
Of course, yes.
no. No, they're not singers. They were never hired to sing. They were hired to dance.
Hello, I'm Shannon Yang.
And I'm Fran Rose.
Welcome to our show, Beyond the Influence.
In Europe, you may know this as well, that was kind of the thing. That's what people did back in the day. Bonnie M was like that. Silver Convention was like
Then
that.
having a voice is not better.
voice.
No, not necessarily.
They don't?
Not necessarily, no. They might be singing, lip syncing to somebody else's voice.
So it was normal, acceptable at that.
It was normal, it was acceptable, and nobody even looked twice at it.
So it's not a priority then, like having good vocals
Well, it is now.
during that time in Europe.
Well, during that time, no. And Frank Farian, the producer of Milli Vanilli, he was very big into that type of business, I guess you could say. For one thing, he was a fantastic, brilliant mind. I'm not going to take that away from him. He might have been a jerk when it comes to doing human things, but a brilliant musical producing, production type of mind.
Business and artistic.
Not business, I wouldn't even know, but I'm talking about artistically. He was making hundreds of millions of dollars
Yeah, and business
before
seems to use
anybody
the brain.
knew. Yeah, before anybody knew what hundreds of millions of dollars was.
I saw that you've been trying to, get the truth out or your side of the story out for a while. It must be quite
34 years.
So that has to be exhausting.
It is. I'm still soliciting, I guess you could say, NARAS, which is the National Association for Recording Arts and Sciences, to get my Grammy back. It was a group award that was given to the group. The group is not Rob and Fab. The group was Rob, Fab, Brad Howell, John Davis, Jody Rocco, and Linda Rocco. That was the main group.
Okay.
We're on every single, my sister and I are on 46 tracks.
And 95% of the vocals.
75% of the vocals overall are ours.
Wow.
Which means Brad, who was the singer, may have been only on maybe 15% on one song, maybe 30% on another. We're on 75.
So, we live in right now the time of instant gratification, and people generally give up on things really quickly. So you said 34 years, is that right? So what keeps you going? Where the drive comes from?
I tell the truth. And the truth, I have nothing to hide. I was in the studio. I have had conversation after conversation, arguing with people online who were trying to tell me what happened at the time when Girl You Know It's True was recorded in the studio. It's like, that's interesting because I don't ever remember seeing you in the studio. And I was in the studio for 3 months with my sister. Her and I, yeah.
Hey, Miss Coach. Hello?
Hey, KB. Welcome back to Rare B.
Thanks.
Let me go get your esthetician for you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey. Hey, sorry for being late.
Oh, no, you're okay. Here is your robe and your slippers.
So backtrack to when you guys did recording and to your singing, were Milli Vanilli, were those two ever in the recording studio with you guys, or are they just kind of practicing their dance moves and never really part of it?
That's a great question because they were never in the studio when we were. They had to come at night. Wow. They came at night under the guise of darkness so that people wouldn't, question or look or see. And after the first album, the second album was even harder because the press would be in the bushes out front. They'd see us come in every day recording, but
Oh wow.
never saw
And you've mentioned you're not. I think one of our researchers forwarded a video of you saying that you guys were not allowed to talk to the boys. Is that-
We were not allowed to be seen with them. We were not allowed to speak to them in public. I have one picture, and it's a blurry picture when they came to Vegas. I dropped them off at the airport, but I went out with them while they were here at a time when there were no cell phones. There were no cameras. And it was kind of ethereal because here I am singing, going out with these guys. Everybody knows who they are, but they're singing to my songs, my voice, not my songs, my voice.
That gotta be feeling good.
You know what I'm saying? So when they're sitting there going, giving all the love I feel for you. Well, they're not singing the boys' parts; they're singing the girls' parts.
Oh really?
Because that was the chorus and the bridge of the song.
Yeah.
So you sit there going, what am I going to do? Sit up and say at the table and say, excuse me, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even. There's not even a chance for you to explain yourself to tell everybody that this is my voice because people are not going to believe it.
Well, they're not. Where were they going to go?
Yeah.
1989, 1990, 1990. Where are they going to go?
And how long was that period until you're like, oh, they probably are going to come out from the water, like everything is going to show as a scam.
Well,
Before it happened.
it happened when they gave the Grammy back, which I was at the press conference. I have pictures of that. I was the only person from the actual singing part of the group because it was in LA. Everybody lived in Germany, so not everybody came over. And the boys were sitting here, and I was standing right behind Robin Fab when they gave back the Grammy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to give it back. I worked very hard for that.
Yeah.
For that award.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they took the Grammy away from everybody.
Well, according to Frank at that time, we had Grammys with our names on it. They're somewhere in a bank vault somewhere. I've never seen it, so I don't know. We also have 3 American Music Awards.
Yeah. Oh wow. So, do you feel that you were really unfairly implicated because of the controversy?
I don't think we were ever implicated because nobody knew who we were. The only time when people finally realized, I worked for 2 years to get that Oprah Winfrey interview. I literally sent emails. What do you need? What do you want?
I mean, now at least, can you say that you were?
Imagine a world where every customer interaction becomes an opportunity to shine, where your business effortlessly outperforms competitors. At RMG, we make it possible. Our virtual assistant and contact center services empower your business not just for today, but throughout your transformation journey. Experience the RMG advantage today.
Well,
It's unfair in a way.
it's completely, totally unfair. I would say that any day of the week, but nobody knew who I was to be able to say anything before. The first time they heard anything about it was 2014 when outside of social media, where somebody with the status of Oprah Winfrey is introducing us to the world and said, listen to this story.
Yeah.
And-
but to be honest, I feel like, it's still so sad because you could have been as popular as the
I would be a superstar.
Yes, you'd be a superstar, and right now nothing can really, give you that because you have to keep constantly fight. That's
It's very exhausting.
I know.
It's exhausting.
So let's go back to the 80s, right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to just figure out what would be the mindset. I mean, did this all get started was it all pre-planned out that this is how it's going to be? We're going to have these guys do the dance and we're going to have backup singers, or nobody thought it'll get this big? And then the lie became too hard to.
Bing, you're the winner.
Okay.
Nobody ever in their right mind thought for any amount of time that this song would take off. Nobody. They didn't even have a group. They had the name.
Okay.
They didn't have the boys. They didn't get the boys until after it was already a hit.
So they hit the jackpot.
Yes, well, again, Frank Farian is no idiot.
Is the art director behind it?
Yeah, he's the producer of all the music. He's all of that. All of that. He knew where to get the song from. He didn't write the song. It was written by somebody else. He knew what to do with the song when he got it.
So he is a really mastermind.
He is the mastermind behind the music part of it, yes.
So did he ever imagine that this will become a project that's just blown up like that? I mean, would he, if he knew that, would he still do the same thing?
I don't think so. Now, that's just me giving you my opinion. I cannot imagine that someone who knows that they're going to sell 47 million records, make hundreds of millions of dollars, and then drop it like that because they didn't sing. That would be an absolute insane move to do.
During that time, were you being compensated to do this, or?
Oh, you're so sweet. No.
Are you serious?
No. We were compensated for studio time. We were paid very well to sing in the studio, and I mean very well. We were probably two of the highest paid backing vocalists
Because you're that good.
ever at that time. But that was it. So that was what altogether maybe $120,000 for both albums.
But
It wasn't that much.
But they told you not to talk about this. It has to be a secret. Was that ever kind of like?
They never said to us, don't talk about it. We knew it was implied.
And how old were you at that time?
33.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I mean, you never thought about fighting back?
Well,
Just
thank you for asking. The second album, Frank said, everybody's going to be on the album. We're going to put everybody's pictures up there. We're going to introduce the whole band. Everything is going to be good until it hit the fan. And they realized that the boys were lip syncing.
Got it. So you didn't get to that part.
Never got to that point. Had the pictures done.
Oh wow.
Did all the pictures and everything. Yeah. I had a, this is how the inner sleeve is going to look and blah, 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 blah. Never made it.
So it was discovered because they were performing live, and then
The CD
instrumental track.
skipped.
Not the track. Yeah.
The CD skipped in Lake Compound, I think it is. It was an MTV show
In the U.S.
in the U.S.
it just kept. I read.
Girl, you know it. Girl, you know it. Girl, you know it. That's what it kept doing. So,
And he ran off the stage.
so Rob runs off the stage with FAP, and downtown Julie Brown is emceeing the whole thing, and she's backstage and she's telling them, "Get back out there! You can't just come back here." She used other words, trust me, and they're F-bomb words. She told them, "Get back out there." And by the time they got back out there, not everybody noticed what was going on, and the CD started again.
That only says how inexperienced he is, because he could have just keep doing the same thing on stage and just.
Well, who knew?
Make it look like a
Who knew
skit.
if it was going to keep going or stop? You know.
Yeah.
So they kind of. I wasn't there, so I don't really know. But I would imagine that had to have been terrifying.
So, in your opinion, do you think Milli Vanilli was successful because of the image or the music?
Well, I think it's both, because you can be as cute as you want to be. If you can't sing, you're in trouble. Or you can sing as fabulously as you want. If you don't look like that sometimes, it may not work. I have to go back to the Oprah Winfrey Show, was being able to, for the first time, to put it on film, literally, what our story was. I'm not interested in Fab's story. I'm not interested in Rob's story. I'm not interested in Ingrid, whose nickname is Millie. That's where Milli Vanilli came from, Frank's girlfriend. Not interested in their stories. That's their story. I'm interested in my story. My story, my sister's story, because we were there every single day. Probably the only ones that were there every single day on the music side.
You're the hardest working person, yet not being recognized.
Hard work will get you everywhere, but you've got to have that happy medium. Living in Germany for 14 years, kids went to school 6 days a week. They went from 7 in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 days a week. No extracurricular, no sports, no debate team, no glee club, no cheerleading, no football, no basketball, no baseball, solely
Academics.
academic. Exactly. You got to have a balance.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of balance. Your creativity, if my parents had not allowed my sister
At ExpertFreePicks.com, our sports handicapping experts have won millions at the books, and now they're sharing their expertise with you for free. Oh, I know. What's the catch? No catch. No fees, no hidden costs, no phone numbers, no credit cards. When you win big with ExpertFreePicks.com, we accept voluntary tips, just like tipping a dealer at the table after a big night. We call it win now, tip later. So for today's picks, sign up now for the world's first free sports handicapping service, ExpertFreePicks.com.
And what about infusion? Like, do you really think infusion really helps, or is it just like a hype right now?
So, I mean, to me, not everyone, we do offer IV nutrition, we do offer IV therapy. Again, I don't think that everyone needs it. To me, it is overused because, again, coming back to the same thing. Okay, I work 50 hours a week. I don't sleep. I smoke. I this, but I still want to feel really, really good. I don't eat right. Okay, what can I do? Well, let's do an IV drip with all the vitamins. So it does help, but I still think that every time we do it, we always want to have that discussion. Okay, this is just like a Band-Aid, right? I know 10 days you're going to be back to.
It's really refreshing to hear, from
Yeah. Because
a doctor.
So it is, but it's like, it's a business and some people run it as a business. So, but I do think that it's not a magic pill, and one IV is not going to fix anything. You have to fix your lifestyle too. But it can help you get better life because you can have more energy, you might be more motivated. Now, some individuals who can't absorb the vitamins properly through their gut, yes, do need an IV, but that is a very small fraction of it.
Yeah, I feel like it's more like an energy drink. You just take a shot.
Yeah, it's
trendy energy.
It's a very trendy.
It's cool.
More fancy.
It is cool. I'm successful. I overwork. Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm too cool. I'm successful. I can't sleep, but hey, I get an IV, and that's how I function. So I think it's the glamorization of that, which is a problem more than anything else. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Only it speaks a lot about how you practice or how you operate.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, I didn't start this business to make money, so I was already successful before this, right? But the whole idea is like, you want to sleep well at night. And, if we use unethical ways to make money, or these are real patients. They are not like, ATM machines that, we should offer them things that they don't need. So I think that's why I think we have good success. A lot of our patients actually are referred by our existing patients. They bring in their family members, their friends, their girlfriends, boyfriends. They like our approach. We have fantastic reviews on Google compared to any other medical practice. So, and I can tell you, like, sometimes patients leave here and they stop and talk to me and they say, like, bless you, doctor, you made such a difference in my life. And I think that no amount of money can replace that, so that's why we got into this field. Now, not everyone sees it that way, unfortunately, but at least I know that most people get into it, they start with the same mission of, trying to help, but then somewhere along the way, the pressures of life, insurance companies and everything kind of gets along, and you get diverted from your mission.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Why a lot of doctors don't want to run the business, because the insurance part and the business side is just such a headache.
Yeah.
And they don't want to deal with it. But then you have like great people in place to help you do that.
Yeah, most doctors do not want their kids to go into medicine.
Really?
They don't.
Yeah.
Because
I know someone too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they see that it's not what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. It has changed, unfortunately. So, but it is that's a world we live in. Like I said, especially after COVID, that really, because we have people on the opposing side of some recommending vaccines, others not, some recommending masks. So I think there was a lot of, even the medical community was divided, and I think it kind of makes it harder.
The X in Niku X represents the infinite possibilities of our creations. Niku X is special because it's based on Japanese yakiniku, but with a contemporary twist using global influences.
But I do think it's a fantastic profession, and I think there's the feeling you get by helping others. Yeah, I know it's like such a cliche or cheesy thing to say, but it is true. I mean, I think the happiest people are the ones who help others. That's why the people who volunteer are, happy. So I think that's why I'm happy. I enjoy what I do, and
It shows.
yeah.
So tell us, what do you do during your free time, besides being a doctor?
So
You're a dad.
yes, I am.
I
Yes.
heard he's into karaoke.
Oh, really? I thought you were into disco.
No, well, I'm a little bit into everything. So after my work is done, I do I work out. I go to the gym almost every single day. Now that was not me 5 years ago, but I have again made changes to my lifestyle. Like I said, I was the typical burned out doctor, a couple of cups of coffee, a lot of drinking, smoking, all the bad things, right? But I have really transformed my life, and I think heater was a big part of that. It helped me, and of course, I'm helping others. But
To practice what you preach.
totally, why not, right? So, but then again, I think I enjoy this a lot. But then after working out, I do take some dance lessons here and there. I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at it. But singing, of course, with karaoke once in a while. It depends on how many drinks I had. I'll go horse riding. I'm a big adventurer, so I do like to skydive or scuba or fly or take flying lessons. So I think it's all the adventure. And then I love to travel.
And thank you, Tarnita, for this beautiful food.
Thank you,
We have-
Tarnita.
She's a lovely host.
Yeah. So Jamal, I know the only time I have seen you before today is when I come over to hang out with Tarnita. And this is the first time I've ever met you in person.
I know I hear a lot about you as well.
Oh yeah, so tell us a bit more about yourself.
So I'm originally from Northern California. Got into the hip hop scene when I was 14. Worked with a lot of Bay Area artists, from E40, Too Short to Pac, Drake. Then later on, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, different artists, Chris Brown. And so I've been in the hip hop business for a long time. Came to Vegas in 2001. Came here in Vegas to pursue expanding and going global with the music. I met a guy by the name of Pooh Bear. We worked together, created a lot of music for a lot of his artists. Came to Vegas, got into the entertainment business. In life, you try to balance things, or you try to, being in the music business, it's like being a struggling musician at first. So you try to do things to support your music or, your dreams and stuff like that. But
So at 14, what got you started into the music industry?
Ann Banks was a producer from the Bay Area. So I met him when I was young, started working with him. and started working on the MPC 1000. The first machine was called MPC 1000. Started making beats and just being in the scene, and just it was my passion. I love music, you know. But started there, and then just growing and learning, and year after year, just I remember the first time I met E40, he called me a sponge, and I was hurt. I was like, why am I a sponge? You wash dishes with a sponge, you know what I mean? And then later on, he's like, no, you just soak up all the
You keep
music.
absorbing.
Yeah.
Very good learner.
So is it because of your peers or your friends that got into that?
I think it was in my blood, honestly, like the passion from having the background, the Egyptian background, and having that Middle Eastern vibe. And yeah, it's always been in my passion, like to do music.
And is that in the family as well? Sorry.
No, it's not in the family. It's not in the family, you know. I mean, it's in my culture, like, you know, some of the biggest artists like Kulthum, or, you know, different people like that are huge artists. You know, Egypt has a lot of influence on music, you know, culture. So it was just my passion, and it was kind of my destiny, because it's just the way it happened, how everything aligned.
And what brought you to Vegas?
I wanted to get out of, you know, at first, you know, we lost Tupac, Biggie, different people. So like, I was just kind of like over the whole California, seeing the people like losing friends. You know, recently I just lost Takeoff Amigos and PNB Rock. Just 2 nights ago, we lost a friend in Miami that was shot in the club. You know,
Do you think it's because of the lifestyle of that whole culture, or?
It's a combination of lifestyle. It's a combination of, you know, people resorting to violence, you know, not talking, coming together. But for me, I was just kind of fed up with it. I was just like, wanted a new change, go somewhere where nobody really knew me.
Right.
And come here, start over, build a dynasty with music. And
so when you got here, what did you do? You start producing?
I was producing. I've always been producing. And then,
At Sam & Co., we believe the joy of the best things. That's why we offer a wide selection of pet essentials and supplies. From treats, leashes, toys, and pet costumes, to almost everything. Sam & Co. is a one-stop shop for you and your pets. Enjoy free shipping on orders $49 or more. Shop Sam & Co. Pets now for wagging tails and more.
I met, you know, different people, and then I got into the whole like entertainment industry here in Vegas to help pursue, and you need money to facilitate things. And sometimes it's sad, because we'll go to any measure to support our dreams or our goals. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if it's legal or not legal, morally sometimes later on in life, it's like, damn, like, now my goals and values are different now. Like, I connect my values to my goals. A lot of people do stuff to make money, but they're not happy. And that's because their values and goals are not connected.
So you know, some of the people that may not have heard your story, so they might be a little confused. Can you share a little bit more about, just collaborate on the part that you said you have a different value now? What changed you and what happened?
I think before, you don't focus on like what you might sacrifice to get what you want to get.